Thanks everyone for joining. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So my name's Neill Brookman. I work for a company called MetaRouter, or MetaRouter for American people, based in the UK, hence a bit of a funny accent. But today I'm going to talk through a Martech stack overload and hopefully sort of use a bit of a theme park analogy to bring all of your Martech stack to life. So as most of you know, we've been on a pretty bad roller coaster ride in the industry. Cookies being deprecated, then they're not being deprecated. You've got all of the different consents that you need to enforce, browser restrictions, and this is causing big issues. And building your Martech stack is very much like a day at a theme park, which is why we're using this as an analogy today. So I'm pretty sure over your career, many of you have had an oh shit moment. Data breaches, you've got all of the data leaks, you're feeding your AI models, but all of your audiences are all going wrong. Problems with InfoSec, and all of these are big issues in the industry. So what we want to do is help you to stay calm. And by staying calm in the Martech space, what we're talking about is making sure your data is protected, making sure your tech stack is being filled with good quality data, with the right data, making sure that you're doing data governance at the point of collection, not worrying about it in all of these different disparate systems, and then putting you in control of exactly what data you capture and where that data goes. So using the theme park analogy, let's talk about surviving the Martech roller coaster. So we see there are 4 major steps to surviving the Martech mayhem. You've got to map your route, you've got to choose the right rides, you've got to manage the crowds, and then optimize your experience. So I'll talk through all of these. So firstly, mapping your route. So if you go to a theme park, you have a map, you decide where you're going to go. Are we going to go on the big rides first, which might be a 3-hour queue? Do we go into others? This is what you need to do with your data strategy, with your Martech as well. Implementing Martech tools is very straightforward. You can deploy a tag, you can get up and running, but you really need to think, what am I going to do with that new tool? What data do I need to capture? Where is that data going to go? What value am I getting from that tool? And if you don't do that, you could end up with another piece of Martech on your tech stack that just isn't doing anything, a bit like an abandoned theme park. So we feel that navigating your Martech stack effectively, you need to start with data collection. Starting with data collection will accelerate all of these other tools. If you have your data strategy right, you can just plug into additional tools and be sure that you've got the right data going in. If you haven't got a data strategy sorted, you end up with just a mismatch of data going in, data going to systems that you may not need, and that's going to cause you issues in the long run. And remember, garbage in, garbage out, which people say all the time. So secondly, making sure we choose the right rides. Not all rides are suitable for everyone at a theme park. You may have some young children. You don't want to put them on the extreme roller coasters. Very same with your Martech stack. Not all systems are equal. There may be tools that you just don't need within your business at all. So you need to make sure everything aligns with your specific needs. This image here is just showing an ad blocker. So ad blockers are not just blocking the ads. People think that it's just stopping the ad from actually displaying on the website. What they're doing is they're actually stopping the script from running that generates the ads. So that's stopping a lot of your Martech tools from actually being able to collect the data that they need. And they'll all tell you, we drop a first-party cookie, we're absolutely fine. But a lot of these scripts are blocked. And you can easily go in. This is Ghostry, a Chrome extension. Just have a look at your website and see the tags that are being blocked. So the ad blockers, it's about 42% of the global population are using ad blockers, and there's different statistics for different countries. But this is causing data silos. People are potentially a ghost on your website. You look in your web analytics, that tag's blocked, so you don't see it. You're looking in all of your Martech stack, they're completely non-existent. So this is a big issue. So you need to choose the right tools, but you also need to make sure you move data governance to the left. We speak to companies all the time. They have all of their different systems with all of the data, and then they're running data governance. You're doing that 50 times across different technologies. If you shift your data governance left, make sure that you have everything in the right format, and then you feed that into your downstream systems, then you can be sure that you have all the right data in there, in the right format, and you're not accidentally sending data down to a system that you shouldn't have, particularly with, in Europe, GDPR and different consents as well. And you need to enforce compliance when you collect as well. Make sure you're not breaching CCPA, GDPR, or any other compliance tools. Collect data in a first-party context. That's the key as well. If you're collecting as a third party, which a lot of these tools are doing, browser restrictions will stop that a lot of the time, and ad blockers will stop those being collected as well. So just make sure that no data is being sent where you don't have full consent, and ensure your data governance is there. So the third part, manage the crowds. This number here, 14,106, may mean something to some people. This is the latest number of Martech solutions are on the market from the Martech, Scott Brinker and all of his team. I don't know if people follow. You can see the increase here over the last few years, so exponentially. So 27.8% growth in the last year alone, and a 9,304% growth over the last 14 years. And of these 14,000 tools, most of them want you to deploy a tag. You end up with 50, 100 different tags on your website. But what are they actually collecting? What data is being sent from their tags downstream? This is a big issue. And this is what we typically see at customers as well. They have a tag manager managing all of those tags, makes it very easy to deploy. But the reality is, in this example here, each and every one of those tags is firing on the website. That's causing your website to run very slow. Site performance is part of Google's Lighthouse score, which affects where you rank in the search engines. So the first issue is that your site's performing slowly. You're missing out in that first page of results. You're paying for paid ads when you could have organic. The second is, what data are they collecting? You drop the Facebook pixel on your website, they scrape data, they send it somewhere. Do you know what data they're collecting and where that's going? And thirdly, these tags can be blocking. MetaRouter as a company was founded because a Criteo tag brought down a big retailer website for 24 hours, cost them $16 million in lost revenue. That was because the tag just stopped everything happening on the website. And we hear this all the time. So all of these tags running, they can stop people from purchasing, from registering, from logging in, and cause issues on the site. And this is an example from April 2024. Kaiser Permanente, they had, it was classified as a breach. They had 13.4 million patient records of data being sent downstream to Facebook, to Twitter, to Pinterest, because they had their tags running on the website, and they didn't realize that all of this patient information was being sent, and being sent to US servers as well. So this is a big issue. And having multiple systems collecting data can cause data silos as well. If you do have 50 or 100 tags running on your website, sometimes it may take several seconds for the page to fully load, and someone clicks next before maybe the last 5 tags have fired. So those 5 systems have different data being collected than others. And this is a big issue. So you need to make sure that you're not causing silos by sending different pieces of information to different systems. So what we're pushing is to collect data once. So remove all of those tags from your website. Just have one tag to collect everything. Collect it in a first-party context, so you're not impacted by ad blockers, you're not impacted by browser restrictions. Then when you have all of that data coming in once, you can manipulate it, provide data governance, consent enforcement, make sure you've got all of your identities right, and then send it server-side in real time downstream. And a way that we like to talk about this, if you think of a property developer building a housing estate, they don't build a property and then put filtration system in and a sedimentation system. They do all of that centrally. They build the water, they cleanse it, they make sure that everything is done. They build a property and they connect all of the taps and everything to the mains water. This is how you need to think about your data strategy. Don't add a new tool and then start to put in the filtration, sedimentation, all of your data governance on each and every tool. Do it once, shift it left, and then you can be sure that you have data in the right format downstream. And by using a server-side event management tool, you can also have the agility to deploy very quickly. I'm pretty sure a lot of you here, you see a nice shiny new Martech tool, you get approval to buy it. It takes 6 months for your InfoSec team to approve everything. It may take another 6 months for your IT team to set up a DNS record. You have all of these different delays. If you're collecting data once and you're sending it server-side, you can just implement that new tool and send data immediately, within a matter of minutes. Your InfoSec team are happy because the data coming in has been governed, it's all in the right format. You're just effectively adding another tap into your water system. So you get that agility to get value from your new tool within a matter of weeks rather than potentially a year. And the last bit, optimizing your experience. So many people go to the theme park, they don't want to spend 3 hours per ride to queue up because you only get 3 rides in a day, so you buy a fast pass. This is how you need to think about your data as well. So think of buying a fast pass at a theme park. With your data, by removing all of those tags, you get that faster site speed. You get faster event routing because everything's going in real time server side. That faster implementation because you can just deploy a new technology without having to put any more code on the website, without going through all of the IT. And you can do faster risk identification as well. You've got data coming in once, you can see exactly how that data is, and if the data is not right, you can just suppress it and do that all in real time. So as mentioned, removing all of those tags and moving server-side, just collecting data once, helps with a faster site, helps you boost up the search engine rankings, and it helps with better conversions as well, because we've all been there on a website. Sometimes you're on a mobile device and it takes sort of 4 or 5 seconds, the page hasn't loaded, you just go back and go somewhere else. People are then bouncing to your competitors. So making sure that this page is loading as quickly as possible across all devices will help with conversions as well. And these are some of the benefits that we've seen with some of our customers by implementing that fast pass. So increase in traffic data 20 to 30% because no ad blocking is happening. We see typically a 250 millisecond latency for every tag that's running on the website. A lot of those run concurrently, but it could still add several seconds to your website. 80% time to implement improvement compared to traditional tagging. You don't have to deploy a tag, retag your website, get all of the InfoSec teams to check everything. It's all tagged, ready to go. You're just deploying in the server side. CDP addressability. We're at CDP World. A lot of CDP tags are blocked by ad blockers. Treasure Data's tag is one of those. So if you're a Treasure Data customer, you're using their tag, have a look with an ad blocker, and you'll see that you're losing a lot of data in there. We see a 3 to 5x increase in addressability because we're able to supply vendor IDs in as well, which the CDP can then use for anonymous addressability, as well as getting that additional 40+% of data coming in. And then lastly, customers are seeing, on average, 127% increase in their Google Lighthouse score as well. So we're trying to push the data trust triangle, so quality, compliance, and control. So using quality to make sure you centralize your data infrastructure in a true end-to-end first-party platform. Don't use third parties. And then for compliance, ensure compliance and consent enforcement at the moment the data is collected. Don't do that afterwards. And then control. Eliminate the impact of third-party vendor reliance and remove the impact of browser restrictions and be in control of your data. Don't be like Kaiser where data is flowing somewhere and you're not aware of where that data is, and all of a sudden you become the next news story with a data breach. So I had to talk about MetaRouter a little bit. I'd be in trouble if I didn't. So we're a server-side event management platform. So we integrate with tools like Treasure Data. We replace their tag with a secure server-side integration. And as part of that, we can help with site performance, removing all of these tags. You're still getting feature parity with all of the systems. We can help with addressability. We have a patented technology that enables us to get the IDs from all of these different vendors. So if you remove the Facebook pixel, we still get the Facebook ID that they would drop in a cookie. Same with Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those different tools. We provide all of those IDs into CDP like Treasure Data, so you can use that for identity resolution, but also for anonymous addressability. Let's build an audience of people that have been browsing my website. I don't know who they are, but what I do know is their Facebook ID 123. Let's push an audience out to Facebook and retarget them with ads based on their behavior. Data trust, consolidating all of that data collection and doing it once, making sure that you've got the data governance, the transformation, that you're hashing emails before it's sent downstream, that you're suppressing, so in Germany, IP address is classed as PII, so let's remove that from the stream and make sure that we have all of that data quality. And then data security. You're in control of exactly the data that's sent. Facebook Pixel, you have no control. It's just scraping data, sending it somewhere. Sending it through a server-side tool like MetaRouter, you see exactly the information that you're getting in and exactly the information you want to share with those different vendors. And this is what we see a lot of the time as well, that anonymous to known challenge. You have people on your website, you're converting them 35% known, it's absolutely fine, we can target those. What about the 65% in this example? So MetaRouter, we have a new product that we just, or packaging rather than a product that we're just launching called Audience Booster, where we can help you generate all of these third-party vendor IDs in a first-party context, send them into CDP, so you unlock all of those anonymous users and have them all addressable across Trade Desk, Google, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, and whatever other ad platforms you're using. So we can help with your addressable audience by 3 to 5x on average, so within Treasure Data, so shifting from that sort of anonymous to known, getting all of those different attributes in. So in this example, we don't have an email, we don't know who they are, they're just completely anonymous, but what we do have are different values as ANDA ID, we have click IDs if they've come through an ad, and all of this sort of rich ID graph going into CDP. So we've got a QR code here. If anything sounds interesting, scan the QR code. We can pay for lunch and have a meeting with us. We do have a booth out in the main hall as well. If you wanted to chat more, we can do demos, we can talk through. It doesn't have to be about specifically what we do. We're Martech experts, so happy to talk about everything. So, thank you for your time.